To vote?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever voted in any sort of elections?
No, I have not voted in it.
Do you plan on ever voting? Do you think voting is important?
Yes, I do think voting is important. It gives you a voice if you want change.
Yeah, that's great. Do you know what amendment it is that actually protects your right to vote?
I do not.
No, it's actually the 15th Amendment. It was created so that all minorities could vote.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 15th Amendment was ratified in 1870 at the end of the Civil War as a means to protect equal voting rights for African American citizens. This amendment reads, "The right of citizens in the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous servitude." This meant that any male above the age of 21 had a say in elections and laws because they were a person and a citizen of the United States. So have either of you registered to vote?
Yes.
I have, yeah.
Registered? Have you ever voted in any national or local election?
Yeah.
Well,
Local.
I tried to vote, but I guess I didn't send my registration in on time, so they told me
Okay.
that I couldn't. So I just kind of told my mom what I wanted to vote for, and she voted for me.
Okay.
But-
Do you guys think it's important to vote?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I could have, then I definitely would have.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what amendment it is that protects your right to vote?
I did not. And I haven't taken government in a long time.
It's been
Do you
a
have any
year.
guesses?
Maybe like the freedom of speech.
Okay.
Or
I
like
don't really know which amendment that is.
amendment number 13.
Well, it's actually the 19th Amendment as women
Okay.
that
Oh,
protects our
yes.
right to vote.
I
So-
remember it now.
Yeah. So, are you registered to vote?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever voted before in any election?
Yes, I voted in every election that I could.
Wow. So you think voting is really important?
Yes, voting is very important to me.
Cool. Do you know what amendment it is that protects your right to vote as a woman?
Yes, I do. It's the 19th Amendment.
Wow, that's super great. Yeah, it is. The 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920 and officially gave equal voting rights to women. This amendment reads, "The rights of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." Women were now allowed to participate in the political process and could not be denied that right because of their gender. So, are you registered to vote?
Yes.
Awesome. Have you voted in any elections?
Yes.
Cool. So you think voting's pretty important?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. Would you still vote if you had to pay to vote?
No.
No, you don't have extra money for that?
No, I'm a college student. Definitely don't want to pay to have my voice heard.
Yeah, right? So did you know that there's actually an amendment that protects that right so you don't have to pay a poll tax?
No, I didn't know
No?
that
Do
actually.
you have any guesses of what amendment it would be?
20th? I don't know.
That's really close. It's the 24th Amendment. So that gets rid of the poll tax.
Wow.
Yeah. Many years passed before another amendment about voting was ratified, but in 1964, another broad group of people were recognized and given more voting rights: those who were poor. Back then, there was a tax called a poll tax that people were required to pay before they were allowed to vote. This was a law that many people were unhappy about because it was discriminatory to those that did not have a lot of money. So in 1964, the 24th Amendment was ratified so that money was not a factor in voting rights. There are still 5 states, however, that do still have a poll tax, but it is not a requirement to vote. Are any of you registered to vote?
Yes.
You all are great. Have any of you ever voted in any elections?
Mhm.
Wow, that's awesome. So you think voting is really important?
Oh, yeah.
Great. Do you guys know what amendment, since you're between the ages of 18 and 21, do you know what amendment protects your right to vote?
I have no
Any
idea.
guesses?
Our amendment
I don't even know how
numbers.
many amendments there are.
Oh,
That's women's right to
women's.
vote. So close.
Oh,
Similar.
amendment. So maybe was it after or before that?
Probably.
Probably before.
14. Oh, 21.
Oh, close. It's the 26th, actually.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
close enough.
The 26th Amendment was the last law that was added to the Constitution concerning voting rights. During this time, the Vietnam War was going on, and men were being drafted as young as 18 to go off and fight for their country. However, these men were very unhappy that they were old enough to be drafted, but not old enough to vote. If they were expected to go die for their country, they should at least be given the right to say who was running it. So in response to this, in 1971, the 26th Amendment was ratified, lowering the voting age from 21 to 18. Why is it important that we vote? Does any one person's vote count? Yes. As an American citizen, it is your duty to ensure that those that are representing you are doing a good job for the country. When you vote, do not think of it as a singular movement, but a movement of literally millions. Millions of people in the United States go out to express their opinions and political platform through voting. Without this, how would the voice of the American people be heard? The wheels of our democratic republic would stop moving altogether if people stopped expressing their opinion and stopped trying to improve our country from the inside.